Alright, that's better. Had to take the headpiece off so I could actually talk to you. I'm in Neverwinter during the Winter Festival, and I was figuring that I could show this off to everyone who watches this channel, get a first impressions of what they're doing and how they're doing it, so I'll see everyone on the other side. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another MMO Anthropology. I'm your host, Amarist, and we're looking at Neverwinter. This is the winter event, which is basically a winter festival. Many of the different MMOs that we've looked at in the past have a lot of cultural coin that they borrow from the current and ongoing North American traditions, including lights and Yule trees and the Christmas affects, gingerbread that we've seen in Star Trek Online, including candy canes and etc. But this is extremely lacking in the Neverwinter winter holiday. Instead, it's much more strongly a European, a very northern European effect. It's a little bit of Scandinavian undertones that have been borrowed by modern winter traditions. And here we are in this little town that they take us to. And interestingly enough, it's covered in ice and snow, and we even have these northern lights. And apparently Neverwinter has a slightly ringed moon. And this is more or less kind of a festival of lights, a celebration of the fact that darkness descends in the northern hemisphere when winter comes around and the nights grow longer and the days grow shorter. We're going to talk to some of the participants and how players are introduced to this event. Then we'll speak a little bit about how players are playing it. We'll start out with the mayor, Vario Sefid, and see what he has to say about it.
I hope you're enjoying our Festival of Cymril this year. Is there any way I can help?
Sure. Let's complete the quest.
Welcome, traveler, to our town of Twilight Tor and our Winter Festival. As the nights grow longer and the solstice nears, we'll have feasting, fun events, games, and prizes to ward off the chill. With so much to see and do, I hope you'll return each day.
And by returning each day, players will be awarded with various gifts and etc. that they can use to buy winter events, aesthetic clothing, etc., which is almost all ice-themed and frost-themed. We are looking at him right now. He has a very neat costume on. It's all green, it's got some blue trimming, it's got some ruff around the shoulders, a sort of fur, indicative that this is a cold place. Let's finish this. The Cymril celebration. The Winter Festival of Cymril, this is having you go do the Twilight Run, or Ice Fish, or play Monsters on Ice. These are events that come along with this new zone. The lore of Cymril is where you run around this Twilight Village of Tor in order to discover what the lore in the game and this Dungeons & Dragons realm is about. And then finally, Omens of the Stars, which is the first thing that I'm going to do, which is where you gaze through a telescope and look at the stars and receive goodies. So while I'm headed over to this telescope, which is right over here, I'm going to talk a little bit about the sort of stuff that's showing up in the depiction that Cryptic is using for Neverwinter. First, we have like the sleigh race over here, which I'm going to visit later, which is more or less kind of a introduction of more Scandinavian elements than the Northern European that we've seen in the past, because there's, sleighs involved, sleigh and reindeer. We also have people celebrating, which is something that you can expect from this sort of event. Getting warm, drinking alcohol, etc. during the winter months. It's a good way to stave off feeling cold or alone. I think that the race runs below here. I mean, you could kind of see, maybe this is the finish line, I'm not quite sure. Well, let's take you over here to this giant telescope. I love this. It's like an observatory type thing. Big wooden structure, lenses, etc. Yes, lucky star indeed. So we'll glance through the telescope to see what's up with this, and it'll show me a constellation. Come on. There we go. What do we have here? It looks snakish. Aurorath the ice snake. Very wintry of them.
Inside her star circle?
And I don't know what that did for me. calm demeanor and righteous anger are born in the sign of Arath, the ice serpent. So it's very much astrology here.
The stars hold many portents, and during Simril they are revealed.
All right, so you do this every day, and it grants
The stars can reveal much about a person's fate, and during Simril, the fortunes I prepare have a chance to be far more than mere prognostications. Your fortune is now ready. Open it and find out what fate may have in store for you.
Okay, so I kind of switched on to him quicker than I was speaking, but they give you interesting gifts, etc. They give you the Star of Fortune, which is a type of currency. They give you Light of Simril, which are also currency, and a mysterious fortune. So let's see if I've got one in my inventory now. My inventory is monstrous in size. I got the alignment of the stars makes you a fearsome opponent. So I suspect that I got myself a Scroll of Fate Glory, and it says no mercy. Down here is where the ice fishing takes place, and ice fishing in this game is an interesting addition, to say the least. I don't see that many people taking part of ice fishing, but there are the intermittent individuals. The one...
It's a good night for fishing, don't you think?
Yes. The one thing that a lot of people generally take part in is the heavy combat element, which is called Monsters on Ice. It's an event that occurs, monsters, mostly ice trolls, ice giants, ice imps or something, appear and you kick the crap out of them. And it's almost entirely dominated by rangers, like archers right now, because people are leveling those. Let's listen a little bit about Simril fishing. He doesn't actually talk about it. Basically, you get yourself a fishing pole, you go to the ice things, and you just click on it. You play a very, very small little mini game and collect fish. You turn them in for rewards. Quest accepted. Alright, let's run ourselves back. I don't really want to do another fishing pole. What I want to do is go through the lore of Simril. Let us bring our spider out so that we move a little bit more quickly. And the lore of Simril basically has new players run around the Twilight Tor city and take a look at some of the stuff that's going on. We can see that it's a cobbled together little town. It looks kind of Scandinavian. Like a little bit modern Scandinavian, like well put together. Very, I guess, dwarvish and elvish. Alright, so here is where we get a chance to look at some of the rewards you can get.
What does your fortune say?
The Simril store has some consumables, like sky beams, lanterns, and iceworks, which are really icy fireworks. There's some scarves that you could put on for these lights. There's also weapon skins, which are greatly amusing to me, and I look forward to trying to get this sparkling ice shield, because I think it would look great on this character of mine, a Guardian Fighter. And there is a little pet called the Fawn of Shalalia. What? I can't pronounce it. And it is adorable. It is a tiny little sparkling fawn. It is and it leaves behind flowers when it moves. It's cute. But here's what I'm here for. I want one of these. This is an ice mimic, or a frost mimic. Anyone who knows me knows that I hate mimics, but this is just adorable. I'd love to have something like this with me. I'm sure that every time I go somewhere, it'll look like it's chasing me, and I could just scream and run from it. So let's see. These are the two things here are bought with the Star of Fortune coin, which is a currency that is given to you every day by looking at the stars and getting your fortune. It costs 10 to get the winter sled, which I don't really care for. That's a steed, but it's that reindeer sled Santa Scandinavian effect. And here's the frost mimic at 18. This event goes for only 20 days, so you'd need to be here at least most of it, getting your fortune every time in order to actually get the mimic, and I'm hoping to grab that myself. So let's see here. Let me go grab this. More lore. It tells you about the town and how to attempt to pronounce the name, but the fact that it's called Twilight Tor is because the original town name is probably difficult to pronounce by anyone who doesn't know Elvish or Dwarvish. This is very dwarf looking. This is the start for the races. Here is the racing master.
The Twilight Run is a slalom down Twilight Tor Mountain and around Lake Glorfindar, ending just below the village. To reach the course, enter the tunnel right behind me. You can run the course on a mount, or even on foot if you're daring. You can play the slalom at any time for fun, but during the Twilight Run event, you'll get points each time you run the course for making it through slalom gates and making it to rally gates in time. There are also bonuses that will appear on the track during the event. They can be worth many points if you reach them first, but it can be tricky to maneuver on the ice. I can answer all your questions about the Twilight Run slalom, so ask away.
Well, I'll talk to him more about that later. The slalom, of course, is a race event, and one of the things where the Neverwinter gamification of winter, in addition into their own world, connects with ours is that lots of time when you have winter events, it's in the dead of winter when people are at their most sluggish, there isn't enough food, people are living off the fat that they grew during the summer in the spring, and they're trying to essentially celebrate the fact that the sun will be coming back. Numerous cultures have a midwinter event that takes this into account. So we're going to come over here and we're going to talk about the Monsters on Ice event, which I told you
well met,
involves
adventurer.
assault by monsters.
Joe, the mayor told you about our goblin problem. The frost goblins are from the Winterkill tribe of the Sword Mountains. They're getting pushed back by the Icehammer dwarves on Icepire Peak. So now they're ranging out here, looking for food and plunder. What's worse, they've brought ice trolls and rimefire golems with them, and are being led by frost giants. We're holding them here, but we'll need help when they mass for our real attack. Join us when the contest starts, and you'll get points for every goblin, troll, golem, and giant you kill. A word of caution. Fighting on an icy lake changes things. I'd suggest you get used to it before the next big attack.
I really love the armor that he's wearing. He's got, like, sort of dragon gauntlets, and he's got this weird face at his belt. Now, listen to this, like, trolls, ice rime golems, or frost giants, goblins. This
Watch
is very,
your footing,
very Scandinavian.
And be careful out there.
Of course, a lot of the fantasy world borrows from numerous different mythologies, including the Scandinavian. So I'm going to come out here and show you a little bit of the Monsters on Ice, because that's going on right now. One of the things you discover really quickly on the ice is that you slide. Alright, you have a tendency to slide around. You have a little bit of momentum. And every time this event comes up, there are numerous people out here kicking butt, taking names, ripping off the manes of trolls and stomping in goblins. This is your basic just run around and beat the crap out of stuff event. We've got a fellow here with a bright purple bird. We've got we have a great weapons fighter sliding around in the ice here, kicking the crap out of stuff. And the Monsters on Ice takes about 10 minutes or so. You can see I'm only in rank 14, so I'm not going to get very much out of it. But this is a good way for people who are more into the combat portion of Neverwinter to earn themselves some Lights of Cimmeryl to go buy interesting weapon skins, armor, you know, the aesthetic effects, and etc. So what we're looking at here is more, as I said, less of a homage to a lot of the modern instances that we see in North American winter events, you know, like Christmas, which involves a lot of retail aesthetic effects from the candy canes, the gingerbread men, the erection of Christmas trees and the stringing of lights. So in here we're seeing something that seems much more of a down-to-earth, much more Scandinavian, Northern European. The skies have become dark, snow is upon us, and we hang lights in trees. I mean, I don't really know any culture that does it quite like this, but there are numerous festivals of light when the skies darken and these cultures see that they're going to have to survive through the winter in order to get on to the next year. And so we have these echoes of this sensation that no doubt even interacts with modern first worlders who now have to watch as the skies darken. You know, where I'm at right now, it becomes dark at 5 o'clock in the evening. It's pretty swift. Oh, this is definitely dwarven. This is awesome. I like this. I'm going to end here is what I'm going to do. And So we have ourselves this Festival of Lights where you collect light as a form of currency here in...
The Tamaduan will help us, for all deserve a second chance.
Well, that's just adorable. Some of these crosses, this looks like a Celtic cross with a halo on it. It's sort of graveyard-like. So I guess I will end this video amidst the graves. Right now we've taken a look at the bare minimum of the Winter Festival in Neverwinter, which takes you to the town of Twilight Tor. Talked about how it's a festival of lights, and how the gamification is all about bringing players together into this and presenting them with a series of obstacles, events, things to do, things to play with, from a race, which involves sleds, ice fishing, which involves, well, you know, catching fish and etc., and the Monsters on Ice event, which involves kicking the crap out of trolls, frost giants, and other very, you know, Scandinavian-oriented things. Which kind of fits, since a lot of Scandinavia is kind of the land of ice and snow, especially come winter. This has been your MMO Anthropology for today. I have been your host, Amarist, and I will most likely see you again for Midwinter and Neverwinter if things change with this event. Meanwhile, good night and good dreams. Well, thank you everyone for coming along to another MMO Anthropology. If you like what you're seeing, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you have an experience that you've had in the Neverwinter Winter Festival, be sure to comment below. I'll be running a survey on this shortly. And if you play Star Trek Online, Guild Wars 2, or even World of Warcraft, and you're in the winter festivals in those, please answer my survey on them, and then I'll tell everyone how the community interacts with them. Meanwhile, be sure to like, comment, or subscribe, or all three, or all of your lights may go out. No, I'm just kidding. Have a great Christmas, have a great winter, an awesome Yule. I'll see you everyone later.